injury, lack of nutrition, lack of sleep, breath, those kinds of things are not going to allow you to build strong, smooth muscle.
Dude, what are you doing zapping people with your fingers?
Yeah,
What's going on? You were 10 inches deep in Andrew, for Christ's sakes.
And you were, he got on all your crotches too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did the thing where, so like he's above the shorts and then he's like getting deeper and deeper into the like groinish area.
Pretty sure
Like,
we could
you think
sue
of-
him. There's
and
three
then,
of us.
But then he went in on the other side and connected, so it was like I was not wearing shorts.
It's like, you think a penis pump's effective. Wait to see what this will do.
It was shocking
Yeah,
the area.
it was shocking.
I need to correct something small since we're on the topic.
Okay.
I was
How
10 inches
small?
deep
You
in
guys are way
Andrew's
wrong.
glute.
Yeah.
Okay? The
Yeah.
glute. But I'm a PEMF provider. I'm a guided PEMF provider. That's pulsed electromagnetic field. I use a box called the Electrons Plus. And the Electrons Plus allows me to use my hands like pads. Instead of laying someone down on a bed and putting a couple cushions, couple pillows around an affected joint, I can guide that current and that frequency in a concentrated fashion to pain points, or I can just work a whole body session and find what hurts or find what doesn't fire.
It's amazing. It's a little bit like a Compex, except for you don't have, I'm sure there's a lot of differences, and you can go ahead and explain that in a moment, but it's a little bit like having a Compex unit and having those pads in different places, except for you have the added benefit of actually being able to move where the pads are just in a fixed position. And on top of that, you're also, I believe, you're helping to kind of manipulate the muscles and move stuff around, and there's probably a lot of feel that goes along with the job, I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure. First couple weeks I used the device, honestly, I felt like I was just going rigor mortis, like totally locked out. But as the sensitivity dropped for me, I was able to start to feel more. So as I'm working from origin to insertion on any muscle, a lot of times I can feel those crunchies. And then when we find that adhesion, we can start to stack modalities and start to smooth that out, whether we're scraping, whether we're doing some kind of active release. You know, depending on the professional that you're working with, they're going to have a technique that's going to help you release something that's either not firing or suboptimally firing.
When you say adhesions, by the way, because like, again, there are still people that are like, oh, you can't get rid of adhesions. What is it that you're talking about? So that people, like, if they're going across their body or rolling on certain things, they know what an adhesion is.
So an adhesion is, it's a knot, basically.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a couple different types of adhesions. I think the main one is you would consider what you find under your shoulder blade. You need to get into a corner and kind of dig it out. There are adhesions that present almost like, you know, the analogy I use is ground beef almost. You feel like you're working with some kind of hamburger because either an injury, lack of nutrition, lack of sleep, breath, those kinds of things are not going to allow you to build strong, smooth muscle that fires all the way through. So those are two major places that you'd find adhesion. But, you know, there are other places too. Scar tissue is going to kind of prevent the fascia from being able to fire all the way through too. So if you've got a scar or some kind of traumatic injury, that's going to give you adhesion too, because the body's going to try to recover itself.
Do you think that some of the pain that we get ourselves into, or some pain that happens to us, is a result of maybe us just not having a good enough understanding or knowledge base? Like you mentioned that you were in a lot of pain years ago, and if you could describe, like, did you do something wrong in order to get in pain like that, or you just have a misunderstanding of something, or do you think it just sometimes shit just happens?
Some of my big experiences with pain revolve around my training for football. I took a helmet, or I took a shoulder pad to the head when I was 15 years old. Ooh. I ended up with a mild herniation in my cervical spine. I visited an orthopedic surgeon, and
who is this fucking guy that did this?
And they said, "You're done playing football. We'd like to cut you open."
Power Project family, how's it going? I want to talk to you guys about Within You Supplements, which is developed by Mark Bell. The cool thing about Within You is that it's not a crazy supplement line which has a crazy amount of unnecessary supplements. They stick to what is necessary. Whey protein, electrolytes, and the electrolytes are dope because they have amino acids and they have zinc. Then there's fasting gum. So we talk a lot about intermittent fasting on the podcast, and this fasting gum has apigenin, rutin, and caffeine, which can actually help you prolong a fast. It's really freaking cool. It was developed by Mark and Joel Green, who we've had on the podcast multiple times. So you guys got to check it out. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
We didn't really have the cash flow to do something like that. So we quickly looked for a second opinion. Mm-hmm. And I ended up seeing a chiropractor. Shout out Aaron Martin in Ankeny, Iowa. This guy fixed me up and I was back on the field in like 6 weeks.
What did he do?
Just chiropractic adjustment.
Okay.
I had some massage, a little bit of e-stim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did I play scared after that? 1,000%.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to get surgery. And that was kind of the beginning for me in knowing that I wanted to help people the same way that guy helped me.
Yeah.
But going back to pain and injuries, a little power clean's gone wrong. Trying to put twice my body weight over my head on a push jerk. Mm-hmm. Those kinds of things added up slowly over time.
Yeah.
So the big thing was the power clean. I've got some hip issues, some low back issues, and it's taken a lot of exploring and a lot of forks in the road to figure out how to get myself back to a point where I can operate with a clear mind.
I also want to mention one thing that was cool. What was the device called again that you used?
The Electrons Plus.
I don't know if there's any like images or videos of it, but one thing that's really dope about it is there's this guy, Jordan Brandis, that came here with this machine, this M-Sculpt machine that was like, it's like $80,000. Like I think it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars for a single unit.
Because it was like thousands of dollars for like an hour of usage to go get it done somewhere.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was feeling with that machine is what you were doing pretty much to me. But the cool thing is like with what you're doing, you can, like if you wanted to and you wanted to dig into a certain area while also having that muscle activate, it's cool because if an individual has a problem, and you could probably explain this better, but if they have problems firing a certain area and also trying to get into an area, it can help them, maybe my assumption is, have proprioceptive understanding of how to do that, and then they can themselves start actually firing off that muscle. And that's crazy.
You can most definitely build a better relationship with your body by getting work like that done. I agree.
Yeah. It's I haven't seen anything like that other than like Mark mentioned, just having, those what are they, TENS units or whatever?
Right.
But there again, it's localized, and if you wanted to feel it in other areas, you have to move it around. But you're able to like manipulate people. So that's I think that'd be useful for a lot of people.
Yeah, and really quick, because like we keep comparing it to a TENS unit because it's just like the first thing that comes to all our minds. But like I very much dislike a TENS unit. Like when I would go to a chiropractor, I would be like, put it on the very lowest setting possible. They're like, oh, you're not going to be able to feel it. I'm like, then that's perfect because I do not like it.
Give me that.
Yeah. So if you can imagine, like when a TENS unit sends its current out, it's like a quick spike and then it goes away. Quick spike goes away. With this unit, it was more like a slow, like, oh, I feel it, and then it goes away, and then like, oh, there it is again, and it was like a lot smoother. It wasn't as like violent as like a TENS unit because I fucking hate those.
And there's a lot of manipulation within it though that you could use, right? Because I saw you tweaking it and messing with it and stuff, right?
Yeah. This device goes from 0 to 100 hertz, and then there's an intensity. I believe that's measured in the form of Gauss, and you can take that from 0 to 20.
Yeah, I sent some
There we
images
go.
over to Andrew and
working on
Nsima.
Nsima today.
Listened up.
Very.
Yeah.
Ready
Very
for a
shiny.
photo shoot.
So can you actually tell us how it works? Because it's pretty interesting. Like you had my hand on a pad. And I think, Mark, you were sitting on it, but you broke it.
Yep.
Yep.
Guys, we're working hard over here trying to learn, trying to bring our information to you, and we need your help. A lot of you guys watching these bites aren't subscribed, so just click that red subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can see when we continue to come out with this heat. Talk to y'all later.